Yo, what is going on, fellow moviegoers, and welcome back to the Marco's Movies channel. In today's video, we are going to be watching Hannibal Season 1, Episode 9 for the first time. I literally have no clue how to say the name of this episode. Trou, it's the first name. Trou Norman, that's the best I can do, but I am so excited to get back into the Hannibal series. It's been a day, obviously. I watched the episode yesterday, Fromage. Probably my favorite episode of the entire series, seeing that contrast between Hannibal and that guy who kind of contrasted him in that way of thinking like him but doing something similar to him, but in a completely different line of work. Instead of the psychiatrist side, he was a string maker, or was he? He was a string maker, but he also like taught people how to play the violin. I think that's the name of the instrument he was trying to play. But obviously, the last episode, our character did die, so I can't wait to see the new villain we have. Everyone has been commenting that Hannibal's the long-lasting villain. I don't think you guys get what I mean. I want someone who Will has to find as the villain to be the long-lasting villain. Will doesn't know Hannibal's a villain. I want Will to be fighting someone for a while. I don't want him to just be like, oh, Hannibal's the villain. Of course he's the fucking villain, but I want Will to find someone that is a long-lasting villain for him to find and him to detect and him to just slowly go insane trying to find this guy, but he can never do it. Kind of like how Lawrence Fishburne did with the Chesapeake River. But I actually want to see it all happen. That's what I mean. I know Hannibal's a fucking villain, even though he's the most awesome guy in the world. But without further ado, if you guys are fans of the Hannibal series and would like to get my full-length reactions to this entire series so we can watch it along together, check out my Patreon page, which is always the first link in the description. There you'll find all my exclusive full-length reactions, including the entire Hannibal series and the Haunting of Hill House series, if you guys are a fan of that series and all the movie reactions and shit like that. Or at least join on any of the tier levels to help me decide what to watch next in polls. But now, without further ado, let's quit the talking and get to the reacting, and let's start watching Hannibal. Jesus Christ. That's not normal.
The headpiece appears to be the only recent victim. The others are years, even decades old.
That's so creepy that there's just a normal person up there. Not normal, but a recently deceased person.
Position the bodies carefully.
Is every fucking villain in the show the most intricate, smart, and just a surgeon? Like, every single villain seems to be the most intricate. I want him to feel the pain he's gonna feel. I want him to see the vision I have in mind before it happens.
This is my resume.
How the fuck did a real person writing a script come up with this idea of this? I don't know what's more disturbing, that or this actually looking like that good and looking so real and me thinking it's real, or the fact that someone actually came up with this design in real life. I think we need to contact that man because I think we should get him for an interview.
Will, what you feel is overwhelming you.
I know.
Yet you choose to ignore it. That's the abuse I'm referring to.
Whoa. Do you want me to quit?
And your life is separating from reality. I'm worried about you, Will. You empathize so completely with the killers Jack Crawford has your mind wrapped around that I don't want you to wake up and see a totem of your own making.
That was good. That was really good. He's gonna turn to a bad guy, Will, eventually. I see exactly what Hannibal's saying. He's gonna eventually get too invested, too deep into this shit, and make his own totem pole. Or whatever the fuck it is gonna be. It's gonna be like the ending finale of this series. Oh, this girl's back. She was in the recap, so I expected that, but...
He should have killed you. So he wouldn't have killed me.
So he wouldn't have killed me.
The families of your father's victims filed wrongful death suits.
Wrongful death?
That means that they get everything, Abigail. No one knows more about what your father did than I do.
Not even Will Graham?
Will Graham is part of the story you tell,
People think I helped my dad kill those girls.
Well, you can change what people think.
Not really. People are always going to have their own opinions no matter what. Honestly, you saying you're telling the truth is going to make it even more sketchy that you wanted to put in the effort to do it. In my opinion, obviously she's doing it for the right reasons. She just wants to tell her story.
Single stab wound to the heart. Other injuries were post-mortem. Like broken bones, dislocated hips, shoulders.
No crimes attributed to any of them. Accidental deaths.
They're all murders.
Francesca Bourdain, 42, suicide, pills, 1994. With great ostentation, atop a display of all the previous victims.
I don't want to interrupt if you're rehearsing.
Implying that you're no longer regretting, or are you still in a state of regret? Why? And it is not because you have a professional curiosity about me.
No. And until that changes, I can only be your friend.
When I say that this is a bad idea.
Freddie Lowndes is dangerous.
I've been doing some accounting of what's important in my life and what isn't.
But if you open this door, Abigail, you won't control what comes through.
Tell a story of a life. If Joel Summers is his finale, then this lowest body on the pole will be our killer's beginning.
Nicholas Boyle turned up in Minnesota, dead. His body was found in the woods. He was frozen.
She already has nightmares about him, Jack.
I'm curious about why. Miss Hobbs, I want you to look at this man.
I haven't seen him since he attacked me.
You knew how to do that. Your father taught you.
What, stabbing someone? You don't have to be exactly trained to do that. I get she, had a little training with it, but when you're being attacked, there's not really a training you can do to stab someone. It's just you stab someone. It's a very easy motion to do. You just stab.
And you know nothing about his death.
But I didn't. I survived.
There is something. She's using every ounce of that strength to keep buried, but it's not the murder of Nicholas Boyle, Jack.
What makes you so sure?
Because any reservations I have about Abigail don't extend to Hannibal.
Is that why you uncovered his body?
FBI already asked their questions. I answered them. I passed.
With Jack Crawford's attention.
You're right. I opened the door.
You jeopardized my life as well as your own. I deserve more than that.
Joel Summers, the headpiece of our totem pole, was adopted after his parents died. Guess who Dad was?
Fletcher Marshall was a crime of passion. It had something that none of the other murders had.
I had faith you'd find me,
And why is that, Mr. Wells?
because I let you. They never saw me coming unless I wanted them to see me coming. All those people around you, knowing that you made it happen.
You thought the woman you loved was having Fletcher Marshall's baby when she should have been having yours, but you got it the wrong way around. She saw what's in your heart.
You didn't secure your legacy, Mr. Wells.
This is so weird that they haven't arrested him yet. They're they're just owning him right now.
Or your son.
Basically saying all that shit was for nothing. That's so interesting. He's able to flip the perspective to become the victim. Oh, that is interesting to know now. Because before I thought he was only able to put him in the mind of the killer. Now he's able to put him in the mind of the victims.
Tell me why you know.
I helped her dispose of the body. Now you know the truth.
Do I?
Everything you know about that night is true, except the end. Who knows Abigail better than you and I? Or the burden she bears?
Research always delivers benefits.
It contradicts a good story. Hell, publish it anyway.
We're all pathological in our own ways.
No, you
Choose the version of the truth that suits you best.
This book is about her innocence. I want Abigail to have a future.
That's what we all want.
You will keep our secret.
You don't know that.
And no one will know the truth you're trying to avoid.
Laughed and joked. Found out where they lived. Girls that looked just like me.
Who would have known this first killer would be going on to this day? So I guess he kind of is a long-lasting killer, even though he's already dead. That's her. That's victim. In a way, she actually low-key is a monster, though. Oh, look at that little smirk. Alright, guys. Just got done watching episode 9 of Hannibal. Sorry if I seem a little lax right now. I am insanely tired. It's a little bit late at night, so I'm really beat right now. I've done 3 recordings today, so I'm going to go to bed after, so excuse me if I'm a little tired. But another great episode of Hannibal, and this series is starting to mesmerize me more than I ever thought it would. Shut up, Siri. It's starting to mesmerize me more than I ever thought it would. It's like every episode so far has been good to great to like a masterpiece. I thought last episode was the best and was a masterpiece. The rest of this episodes have been good to great, and this was another great episode of Hannibal. I love how that tension, that first episode is starting to dictate what's happening later to middle of the season, and it is kind of like a long-lasting villain I wanted. Even though he's already dead, we're still dealing with his past and his legacy, and that's interesting that legacy is continuing on to his daughter, which makes you start to think if all these other characters who we have found, they might have a relative that might continue their legacy, you know what I'm saying? And it just, that knowing Will can now see the eyes of the victim is going to make this so much more interesting if they actually continue in that direction. And I hope they do, that he goes into the eyes of the victims and that he almost meets a villain that he can't see and he's trying to figure out so badly, but he can't figure it out. And he just almost sees like blank when he sees in the eyes of the victim. I hope some shit like that happens, but we'll see. We're going to continue forward with this series. I'm ahead to bed, so thank you guys all for watching my series reactions of me watching Hannibal. If you guys enjoy these reactions and want to get my full-length reaction to the rest of this series so we can watch it along together, check me out on my Patreon, which is the first link in the description, or at least join to help me decide what movies to watch next. But as always, guys, keep watching movies.